When I first arrived in Johannesburg, the city of gold, in 2007, I was a young adult, ready and eager to work. And the first industry that I was introduced to by my then partner was the diamond industry. At the time, he was trying to acquire a license to cut and polish rough diamonds. And interesting enough, one of the people that were assisting him was Molefi Letsiki. The only thing that I remember about this whole process was how long it took for him to eventually acquire his license. I was only an intern in the media sector and was clueless about how business works, or how any sector works for that matter. Fast forward to just 10 years later, and now I'm doing the research for myself. I want to know how the diamond industry works. I want to find out who are the players of this sector and how do they do business, and how can one invest in the sector. And I've got just the perfect person to teach me all this, Molefi Letsiki. He's the founder of Molefi Letsiki Diamond Holdings, and they've been in business for over 11 years. And we can kick it off by finding out, how did it start out for him?
The journey started in 1999, actually. I was still in high school, and coming from a background my father was a polisher. So what then happened was, normally at the time we still used to stay in the Val, so after school I'd have to wait for him to drive back home together, and some days it so happened that I waited for him in the factory where they were cutting and polishing, and I think like any other African black child, the irony of the story is, you hear about diamonds, your parents are talking about diamonds, but yet you've never seen or even touched one, And I remember, for me, I think what hit me was one of the days while I was waiting for him, and few other guys were busy polishing. And you'll see when we polish diamonds, we actually set them on a tongue. And time and again, the tongue goes to your eyes because you're checking on, what's happening with the stone. And as they picked up that tongue, a spark just caught me from there. And I was amazed at the brilliance that came from, a piece of carbon, because when you see it in its rough form, you're thinking, there's not much here. But how such brilliance came out of something that you would say it's so dull, and I think that's when it caught me, It was at that moment when I just fell in love with diamonds,
And you thought, this is what I want to do now.
At the time, funny enough, no, hey? I think it just caught me, and I thought, wow, this is such a beautiful thing, because I still went and finished my matric, decided to go and study IT at the time, because I guess it was the cool thing to do, and it was only on my third year where I decided that, maybe this is not really me, And that's when I decided to come into the industry full time, and I went on the bench and I started polishing, But I think for me, then it just got to that point where I was saying, because I could see what was happening. The diamond center, everybody's placed in one building. People buy diamonds, they cut and polish them, they sell them in the office next door or upstairs. But for me, the question was, but where are these diamonds going? And these companies or people that the diamonds are being sold to, where are they taking them at the end of the day? And I realized there was no, I can actually say there were no black people playing that space, because everybody was selling to this big company or this big guy that's gonna go sell it overseas or something like that. And I said, nah, but that's where I wanna play. I wanna be that guy. And that's why Molefi Letsiki Diamond Holdings was born,
An estimated 13 billion US dollars worth of rough diamonds are produced per year, of which approximately 8.5 billion are from Africa. That's approximately 65%. Again, how does this industry work?
Look, for a long time, this industry, I think it's always been one of the very closed industries, You could swear that it's just a cartel of few families or few people that were supposed to be in this industry. And I think thus it's taken so long also to see it being transformed per se, But basically how it works is, you need to, for a long time, a lot of people have always been able to come into the industry either because their families have always been in this industry or something like that. I mean, I remember growing up from primary school days, high school days, I would never hear anybody speak anything about working in the diamonds, we just knew what jewelry is, but not even much detail about it as well. So it's always been that industry that somehow somebody needs to introduce you to it, which I think currently that's what we're trying to sort of break so that people know more about this industry. I mean, because the diamonds, the resource, it comes from our land, and that's, I believe it should be benefiting South African hair people at the end of the day, So to get into the industry is not an easy one. However, I think that the channels are slowly starting to open up. This is a type of an industry where you need that bit of knowledge, you need that bit of background, which you can acquire through studying with a few colleges that we have, like Diamond Education College, the Harry Oppenheimer College, and there's many others, African Minerals. So you would need to go through that. However, one of the things I've realized is that even a lot of guys that come back from colleges, you'll find that they don't have enough experience to jump into a career, whether be it as a polisher or anything else like that. So you would need to somehow get a company that's willing to take you in as a student to teach you the process. And it's from that experience where you get to learn more. And I think from there you can also start to find your ground in terms of where do you want to play in the industry. Do you want to work as a polisher throughout your life? Do you want to maybe start a business? Maybe sometimes you find that you are more of a jeweler than you actually are a polisher. With jewelers, I know you have some of South African universities offering courses on it, and yeah, I think it's one of those where you choose. But once you've decided where you want to play, you would then need to get a license to trade or to play in any sector through the South African Diamond and Precious Metals Regulator, as a SADPMR, which is it falls under the Department of Minerals and Resources. So they would issue you with a license to trade, and then you would choose where you want to play in that space more than anything.
Okay, I think I'm catching on. So which part of the diamond sector are you playing in?
The industry at large, it's mainly, I would divide it into sort of 4 different sectors. The first one being the production sector. This is your mines that actually produce the goods from the ground, They have a process, and there's a lot of careers there. Engineers who would need to actually do the producing. There's a lot of sorting that takes place. So this is when they because when you mine, not everything that comes out of the ground is gem quality. Some it's industrial. So they would sort into different categories based on different industries and based off different industry needs, And then you get manufacturers, which is where I play. We basically would buy the gem quality diamonds, cut and polish them, and then we would sell them off to either diamond dealers, or we would sell them off to jewelers. And also the one market that's starting to open up is a lot of private market, where you get a lot of private clients coming in wanting to buy diamonds for themselves, be it for jewelry or be it for investment purposes, So yeah, and then you get diamond dealers. These are guys that basically don't manufacture. What they do is they would buy polished diamonds and sell them off. You also get to have what we call rough dealers. They play a role mainly between the producers and the manufacturers. They buy rough from producers and sell it to manufacturers. And then you get the last stage, which are jewelers. These are guys that would take the diamonds and also different precious metals such as gold, silver, platinum, and they would make jewelry pieces at the end of the day out of this, which would then go to consumers at the end of the day.
So from the Eureka diamond discovered by the 15-year-old Erasmus Jacobs in 1865 that kick-started the industry in South Africa, to Molefi Letsiki diamonds operating today, how has the industry evolved and what's precious about it?
Look, it is very interesting. It's an industry that's, I'd say, there's a lot of emotions behind it, at the end of the day, because it's the experiences that come out of it. It's that love being shared through them that stands out at the end of the day, and you do it so that you know that piece of jewelry that you're going to produce or that stone will be used to express love to somebody else at the end of the day. You know, it's amazing, man. You know, being able to tell a story. I mean, remember at the end of the day, diamonds it's been millions of years of formulation, deep down in the ground there, you know, and to take it out and like I was saying earlier, and you know, you look at a rough stone, it's just a piece of carbon, nothing really precious out of it. And the process that it goes through to bring out the brilliance, I think for me also, it sort of shows the journey of us as human beings, you know, that we are born in a rough state. As we grow up, we go through the cutting and the polishing, which as you go through those processes, it's painful processes, but those processes, you're going through them so that the brilliance can come out of you, you know. I mean, we boil these things in acids so that they can give you that perfect glow at the end of the day. And I think, you know, essentially in life, the challenges that we go through, it's those cutting and polishing and the boiling to bring out that glow. And I always connect to it like that, you know, and to see once it's come to its brilliance, the joy that it brings to the next person when they receive it as a gift of love, or you know, a gift of gratitude or anything like that. I think nothing warms one's heart like that.
Diamonds used to be very expensive due to the shortage of supply, therefore made it affordable mainly to the rich and famous. This of course has changed over the years. But who are your clients now?
As an emerging and a growing business, most of our clientele is still a lot of diamond dealers. And I'll tell you, mainly because they're able to keep us liquid. Our industry, unfortunately, in South Africa, it's not financed. So you depend a lot on being able to sell cash. Where you can get paid on delivery, you know. So a lot of our clientele is still a lot of dealers. They come to us looking basically for diamonds, and for them, it's more about specs. You know, they would have sort of a clientele, be it international jewelers who are looking specifically for certain type of stones, certain type of sizes and colors, and they would come to us for that, you know. And you get jewelers. I mean, we have a few clients that are jewelers, which I would say it's our secondary market. These are guys that you know, you get a better premium when you sell to them. However, you know, jewelers, they would want to buy on terms, so because you're not getting paid immediately, it could affect your cash flow and so forth, you know. However, these also are guys that come with specifics as well, because they know what they want, they know what their clients want and so forth. But the one clientele that excites me a lot, which is a market that started with friends, you know, it's the private market. I think it's exciting for me because I'm selling diamonds to my friends. I'm selling diamonds to people I grew up with, people I went to school with, and so forth. And I mean, for us as black children, it was a foreign concept altogether, you know, because we've always thought of diamonds as something that's very expensive and very far-fetched, you know, not realizing that there's actually a diamond for every pocket, depending on how much or how you want to spend, you know, on it. So that market is a market that I'm also investing a lot into to grow, because one, to say buy a diamond as a gift, you know, be it for your children, be it for your wife, but it can serve as a form of a gift, you know. But again, I'm saying buy a diamond as an investment.
A diamond as an investment. Okay, interesting. Tell me more.
I think just to break it down, I mean, we grew up in times when our parents or our great-grandparents used to buy things like inkomo, or, you know, sheep and different things. And that would form as an investment for them. But unfortunately, in the times we live in today, the kind of villages that we live in today, we don't have those big plots where you can buy hundreds of cows and have them in your backyard or something like that. But here's one thing that you can buy. One, it's traded in dollars, so you can sell it anywhere in the world, as long as you make sure that when you buy it, it has been certified and it's a legal stone and it's a natural stone, you know. It's a conflict-free stone. Look, you can buy this stone and put it in a safe away somewhere. And should you one day need cash, this is one thing that you can sell overnight, you know, with the right platform to sell to. So it serves an investment from that point of view, you know. Talking from a South African point of view, I mean, I remember when I came into this industry, the rand against dollar was trading at like maybe 6 rand or so. Today, so it means if I bought diamond 6 years ago, today, just from the rate point of view, I'd be making double what I paid for it, you know. So it can serve as an investment from that point of view. But also, I mean, I'm not gonna, like any other thing, the longer you invest, the more you will get out of it. So the longer you stay with the diamond, the more you will earn out of it. Yes, there are lucky days you buy a diamond today, a few months down the line, the Rappaport price goes up and then you're able to sell it for more than what you bought it for, you know. But I think in terms of saving money, it's one of the best commodities to do so, because you can buy it here in South Africa, you can go sell it in China, you can go sell it in the States or Europe. It's all up to you at the end of the day, you know.
And the risks?
Look, it's not an easy industry, I'm not gonna lie, you know. One, you are working with a natural stone, you know, and anything can happen to it, you know. When you buy the rough diamonds, you're actually predicting what could come out of it, and you buy it based on you. So you would offer a price of what you are buying based on what you think you will get out of it, and when you get that out of it, then you can be able to sell it for a certain price and make some money out of it. But look, we've had cases where you buy a diamond. Actually, a month ago, we bought a stone, a parcel from DBS, and one of the stones skipped out of a town while they were polishing it. It fell under the scythe and the whole stone was shattered, you know. And literally it goes from a stone, for example, that's worth $10,000 to nothing in just a split second, you know. I remember while polishing, my dad's bench was next to mine and he loves his coffee. And one of the times he was busy polishing, and it was quite an expensive stone, and while he was polishing his stone, his coffee fell onto the scythe, which is the wheel that's used to cut the diamonds, and because it's in extreme heat while it's running on the scythe, when that water went in, the stone shattered. And I can still remember that day, how angry he was, and what was worse was he couldn't be angry at somebody else but himself, you know. He had just lost so much money in just a split second, you know. So there are times you buy diamonds expecting to get a D color. So D would be the highest color you get, and it goes all the way to like Z, you know. And you buy it as a D color and you get like a G out of it, and the difference in price is crazy, you know. Sometimes you buy a stone, you see it as a white stone, but as you polish it, it becomes yellow, you know. Or you buy a stone thinking you're gonna get a 2 carat, but as you polish, maybe there's a small hole that you didn't pick up, and the stone finishes as a 150 or 1 something, you know. It's so there are those challenges at the end of the day, and I think as manufacturers we bear most of that risk, because remember, a producer just takes it out, cleans it, sells it, and the diamond dealers buy it. Once they buy it, it's certified. They don't have to worry about doing anything to it, you know. So we carry that risk of either it dropping in color or losing the weight that you thought you were going to get, or the stone shattering at the end of the day. So it's never easy. I mean, diamonds have so many particles in them. You find diamonds that have what we call diamond stress, you know. So it means the stone has pressure, and you need to be very gentle and careful with it, because otherwise it could just easily shatter as well. So look, I can tell you a lot of stories about them, but what I can just say, like, it's a natural stone. So every time you put it on that scythe to start polishing it, you know there's so much risk to bear. So you pray until you actually finish it at the end of the day.
Basically, It's not for the faint-hearted. The risks are much higher and there's a lot to lose. But we are entrepreneurs and we know too well about risk and loss. It's our daily bread. I'm going to pause this interview with Molefi for now so we can digest his industry a little bit more. There will be a part 2 where we get into further details about this sector, so stay tuned. I'm Cindy Somnieza. Tune in now and again. You never know. You might learn a thing or two from the people I chat to. One thing's for sure, they represent Black excellence and I'm all about that movement. Cindy Somnieza, Sector Unlimited.